So we had Pavan first, and they were put together by the stud bookkeeper. And stud bookkeepers are basically dating agencies for animals. So say we had him first, and Tara was a surplus female, so he decided that she would be an ideal gene match for breeding for him. And we were very lucky, lucky enough to be able to join the breeding scheme with them. They had 2 amazing cubs which just went off to their new homes at the end of last year. One went to Poland and one went to Italy. So they both had partners waiting for them there, so we wish them all the luck in the future. So in the wild, snow leopards span the region of the Himalayas, and they cover 12 different countries. They're the highest land predator, and you can see how very well adapted they are at living in the cold climate with that lovely thick dense coat. They've got quite small ears, and that helps reduce heat loss. Those amazing big feet, which I think Tara was demonstrating for you up here very well, make perfect snowshoes. And that lovely, lovely long tail not only makes a great rudder, because they are very agile cats, also makes a lovely fluffy scarf. So when the cats are at rest, which is what they do an awful lot of being cats, they will wrap their tails around the faces to keep the noses warm. So they're pretty much opportunistic hunters, and they do also eat a bit of vegetation, and they're the only big cats that I know of that does eat vegetation, apart from obviously a domestic moggy. And that's why we have a lack of shrubs and trees in this half, because Pavan ate them all one day. Hopefully the ones over there will survive a little bit longer, but yeah, we had a few small trees in here which we decided to eat. But the very opportunistic hunters, they get what they can, usually small birds and rodents. If they were very lucky enough to be able to get a big prey item like a wild goat or a wild sheep, I think statistics say that if a snow leopard's lucky, they might be able to get 1 or 2 big substantial meals a month. So that's not a lot. So here we're in captivity, we try and feed them as naturalistically as we can. Sometimes we'll give them a big dinner and not feed them for 2 or 3 days afterwards. Sometimes I'll give them 2 or 3 small snacks within a day. We try and mix and match as much as we can. We try and feed them at different times of the day and on different items in a rotation whenever we can.
That's what you do with me.
That's good, keep you healthy. And sort of try and give them sort of fun feeding times. Sometimes we give them a scatter feed with lots of different bits of food broken up into pieces hidden around their enclosure, and they have to use their senses to locate them. The sense of smell isn't particularly good. That's Pavan smelling there when he looks like he's panting. That's him smelling.
It's when they open their mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the eyesight's good. They do rely on their eyesight, but when something isn't moving, they do tend to miss it. So you quite often see leopards standing on their dinner and looking around thinking, where's my dinner? Because they make them look really daft. So we try and do other fun things when we feed them, putting their food in cardboard boxes or paper bags, suspending things from the bridge or the platform. And as you can imagine, when it's warm like this, they can get quite uncomfortable with a thick fur coat on. So we'll give them their food either frozen or partially frozen, or sometimes even in a big block of ice for extra fun. So of course any food that they will have caught in the wild, if they catch a big prey item, they will actually gorge themselves and sleep for days, and when they go back to that sheep or goat or whatever it may be, it will be completely frozen solid. So they're very well adapted to eating frozen food. It helps cool them down in the warm weather we get here sometimes, and keeps their teeth nice and clean and gives the jaws a good, Tara's in stalking mode, gives the jaws a good workout. And on the days when we don't feed them, like today, I've given them a scent trail. So today I've used herbal tea and sheep's fleece, but we can use smells from other animals around the zoo or our own pets. We ask our visitors to donate any perfume and aftershave they don't like anymore. Say teas and coffees, spices, herbs, whatever we can find that's safe for them, we can spread that around their enclosure. And it's just as if in the wild, if a different animal had walked through their habitat, it encourages them to behave naturalistically by scent marking. So last time we used herbal tea, they both went and rolled around in it because they loved the smell, and then they went and weed over it all, sort of marking out their territory. They've all got their individual tastes. Some things they really like and some things they're not particularly keen on. The sheep fleece they seem to completely ignore today. The herbal tea's a bit, I think they've had it a bit too often. It's here and on the other side where Pavan was rubbing himself around in. There's a bit on the window frame as well and on the bridge. So yeah, some things they like more than others. Pavan's favourite's Old Spice. He'll absolutely love it and go rolling round in there, and Tara's not particularly keen, so when he goes over to Tara, she'll just give him a real good slap, really. They both quite liked a lovely fruity perfume I used for them a couple of days ago. The coffee grounds were the cubs' absolute favourite. It really used to inspire them to get playful, so they've got their individual taste. Sometimes they completely ignore it. There used to be quite a pungent smell, obviously, because the sense of smell isn't particularly good, but they're sort of half enjoying this herbal tea. Maybe they prefer a different flavour. So in the wild they do unfortunately get hunted for that lovely fur coat. For Chinese medicine, which is very sad because it's for tiger parks, and the leopards are more closely related to tigers than they are other leopards. And because they can be a threat to the local farmers out there, because out of desperation the snow leopards will sometimes come down to the level where humans habitate and take one of their flock items. But there's a few charities out there working with the locals to try and educate them to conserve them rather than persecuting these animals. And they're helping the farmers by raising the level of their fences and covering over their corrals. And they will actually pay any farmers if they can prove a snow leopard's taken an animal. And they're taking on ex-poachers and educating them to become wardens who will look out for other poachers. And they're teaching the people who don't farm local crafts, and they can help them sell them worldwide to make a profit for themselves and for the charity. So there's a few things going on out there to help these snow leopards exist out there, and it's hopefully very soon they will be able to release captive bred cats back into the wild, which will be a good achievement, but of course it's just a case of educating the locals to try and stop hunting them. Which of course is completely unnecessary, but some, habits, family traditions and what have you, it's sometimes hard to change. So there we go, that's a bit about our cats and a bit about cats in the wild. Got any questions?
Can I take him home?
Probably not. I wouldn't.
Lice. This is his favourite cat, this one.
Oh, is it? Actually,
Yeah,
we've got
definitely
two cats at home.
Wouldn't
That's
really
why
trust them
I know
with
about
that.
the smelling, because domestic cats do that.
Yeah.
They open their mouth up for
Yeah, because it looks like they're panting.
Yeah, it
but
does.
obviously drawing up more smell into
Yeah.
their mouths.
smelling. Yeah.
That's their favourite spot, that cave up there.
We went up to